Hey fellow reefers, March again here in the frag box, and today I'm going to talk to you about a dreaded pest in the home aquarium, Aiptasia. Oh, look at this, Dylan's tank is full of them. Okay, so Aiptasia, most saltwater enthusiasts at some point in their hobby career are going to have to deal with Aiptasia anemones. So what are they? They are a small, basically opportunistic glass anemone. So this tank definitely has, I would say, moderate to severe problem with Aiptasia. You can see here on the sand bed, I can easily see, I don't know, a dozen of them. So they're quite happy here on the bottom. So Aiptasia are quite small, and the way they get into your tank, they hitchhike on rocks and corals, and when you touch them, they retract almost to nothing. They become virtually invisible, so it's really hard to see them and to avoid getting them in the tank. I think eventually, if you do this for long enough, you're going to have to deal with them. So I thought maybe this video would be useful so that when you do encounter them, you would know how to get rid of this pest. This video is not to make you nervous or anxious about Aiptasia. It's just to help you deal with them if you currently have them in your tank. So there's a number of different tricks. And I'm going to start with the first one, which is a product from Red Sea called Aiptasia X. So this is it here. It's quite effective. It comes with a syringe inside the bottle. I'm going to open it in a second and show you how to use it to kill these suckers. But this stuff has been around for a long time, and it's 100% reef safe. It's not going to harm your tank in any way. It's not going to harm your corals. It's not going to harm your fish, so don't be afraid to use it. You suck the liquid into this syringe, and then you basically, it's kind of like a gel, it'll actually drop. You go and feed it to him. So I'm going to go ahead and kill this guy. Oh, there's a lot. And there's another one down here. Goodbye, Aiptasia. I'm sorry. You just wanted to live. But your existence does not align with my existence.
You wanted me to find that spot.
Alright, so that's one option, is with the Aiptasia X. You nuke them. The other one, another effective method, are these Bergia nudibranches. So these little slugs, you can see them right there, that white one up against the silicone. And these nudibranches, again, are 100% reef safe, and all they eat is Aiptasia. So whenever we find any that we can easily pick off, we just toss them in here. And they'll reproduce quite quickly. So you see that little, it's kind of hard to focus because it's small, but that like swirly little thing, that's actually hundreds of Bergia eggs. So we have them in this small, oh, here's some more eggs here floating on the surface of the water. So these are another good alternative because all they eat is Aiptasia. That's their, this is like their natural predator. Another method, this is my personal favorite way of dealing with Aiptasia, are peppermint shrimps. So these guys actually love to eat Aiptasia, but the trick to using them, I find, is they have to be hungry. So they're not going to go and, you know, just start eating them randomly. If there's fish food, they're scavengers. Whatever they find, they're going to eat, right? So if there's a lot of fish food, a lot of stuff that you're feeding, that they're getting, they're not typically going to eat the Aiptasia first. So what I do is I try and limit the feeding to the fish, or try and make sure just the fish are eating and there's no extra food hitting the bottom. Because once these guys start to starve, that's when you see them go into their crazy Aiptasia mode. But that's my favorite. That's a very effective way, in my experience, of getting rid of Aiptasia. Add some of these. And they're great because they're going to eat all the Aiptasia you can't see. So the Aiptasia X is good because you can kind of nuke and kill all the ones that you do see. But those other ones that are maybe hiding in the rock, I don't know if you're dealing with an Aiptasia problem, but these guys are great for scouting out and finding all the little hidden ones. And finally, you can use fish to get rid of Aiptasia. So this is a pygmy filefish. There's another one though that's called a Aiptasia eating filefish, and that fish is excellent at eating Aiptasia. The downside with that is they're not always reef safe, so it will almost always eradicate your Aiptasia problem, but once it's done eating the Aiptasia, it'll often turn on your poor acans or even your zoanthids and soft corals. So it's got to come out of the tank usually if it's a coral tank. If it's fish only, it doesn't really matter because it's not going to eat your corals, obviously. And then the other option, I wish I had one to show you. I lost mine recently. But copper band butterfly is another great Aiptasia eater. It's sort of similar to the filefish though, that they're not always reef safe. So after it's done eating the Aiptasia, yeah, it may turn on your corals. It may starve. They're kind of tricky to get healthy as well. It's sort of a finicky fish that won't accept too many foods, so it's tricky to find healthy ones. If you do find one, try and buy a bigger one if possible. That's for the copper band butterfly. But there you have it. Those are the 5 different ways that you can deal with Aiptasia in your reef tank. Maybe you guys have some other tricks. There are other products too. Aiptasia X is just one that we sell here in the store that I have personal success with. I know there's another one called Joe's Juice that's quite good. Well, we don't carry it. There's a few other ones on there too, but I think they're all more or less the same sort of solution because they all kind of look the same, except maybe the Joe's Juice. But anyways, that's the video for today. If you guys got any questions about Aiptasia or beautiful torch corals or anything reef related in general, I'll put our contact at the end of the video as usual. Feel free to call us, email, hit us up. I'm running out of video ideas. I think I'm going to talk about dipping corals on the next one if anyone wants to see that. But yeah, thanks again for watching and happy reefing.